Hi, this is George, and this week, I thought I've been out on the road singing about strategic capacity, and I've been fortunate enough to be hired for a series of keynotes, engagements, workshops, and the response has been fantastic. So I thought maybe I just tease a little bit about what we talk about in the room and why people are so excited. So I've taken a few of the slides from a deck I used at the recent XPX Summit in Houston, where I provided the keynote, and let's just walk through at a really high level what we talk about, and what I get the room really engaged with what you and we know, and what the room finds fascinating is the concept and the power of understanding strategic capacity and leveraging, moving, increasing strategic capacity so that we can take businesses from stuck to best in class. And we define best in class as an 85 plus strategic capacity asset class. Okay. There's a teaser for you. So, you know, uh, launch right in, talk about, talk about 20% of the market. Now, this is going to surprise you. I do not stand on stage or stand in the room behind the podium, wherever you have me, walking around like a deranged person that I am. I do not walk around saying, and you need to become like that 20% of businesses. Heck no. I have a very different message, and the message is about creating an 85 plus strategic capacity asset class, a business that can enter, that qualifies for the 85 plus strategic capacity asset class. And so if you're curious about what that looks like, let's talk. The audience always responds very, very well to data, and this is a discussion that is laced throughout with data. Now, if you've read my book, this is where we start our journey in the book, and I go into some detail about the power and the threat that these businesses with 2.5 million to 100 million, middle market businesses. Um, so a lot of data there, and then we get into the experience of being a business owner, and the blessings and the curses of being a business owner, and move in. Of course, you would expect this. Talk about strategic capacity, which quantifies strategic capacity quantifies a business's ability to predictably and sustainably grow free cash flow, and get into the three dimensions of growth in some detail, and really help the audience understand the power of strategic capacity in the three dimensions of growth. And something that's very interesting. I've had the good fortune to be invited in front of groups of advisors. I was with a good group like that just last night down in Fort Lauderdale at the Exit Advisors Alliance. Fantastic group, by the way. If you're anywhere in the Miami-Dade, Fort Lauderdale metro, they're worth calling, as an aside, as is XPX Houston, by the way. But I've spoken with groups of CEOs only, groups of CEOs and advisors, and groups of advisors only. And the message, is it can be directed towards the audience, and it's really fun. Okay, that people just really seem to get a lot of value out of it. At least that's what they share with me afterwards. So, what's the impact and the bottom line, the way to get businesses to win, to preserve optionality, and to understand that you can run a private equity play on your own business, right? So as an advisor, we can talk to our business owner and say, hey, you're going to sell your business. If you sell it at a discount, that discount ends up going into private equity's pocket. Why don't you just do the work that they would do? It's not easy, but it's well understood, and keep the money that private equity would otherwise make. And by the way, keep the money and create more options, more wealth, more prosperity for your stakeholders, et cetera. So that is from a very high level to talk some powerful visuals, some terrific data, and a storyline that has people leaning forward. I always judge a crowd by whether or not anyone's on their phone, and so far we're batting about 1,000, a little under 1,000. So If this is interesting to you, I'd be happy to discuss. And of course, I can tailor and have tailor the message for the room, and we can start with a tabula rasa, a blank piece of paper, and build something that's really going to have a heavy impact, a high impact, and make you as the organizer, you as the host, look really, really good. That's our goal. So out on the road, singing about strategic capacity and having a lot of fun doing it and meeting some fantastic folks, some really some great professionals and business owners. That's it. You've got questions, you know how to reach me. George at growth-drive.com, growth-drive.com. It's that easy. Talk to you soon. Bye.